soul will rest in your embrace. I am yours, and you are mine.
Yanibingelela bazalwane, egameni lenkosi yethu Jesu Kristu buya kamsinya, amen. Namhlanje siku-day 4 of our virtual week of prayer. I hope you all being blessed, njengoba nami have been blessed bazalwane. I welcome ababukele live on YouTube nabesezoyibukela le program at a later stage. Today ozosiphathela inkonzo ngubrother Dave Ndarera. Topic of consideration is the husband as the house band. Before siqale bazalwane leyo topic, sizoqala briefly sikhuluma about New Start, which is an acronym esiyisebenzisayo generally as part of healing evela kuNkulunkulu. Wherein bizolo discusse S and the A part of New Start, which is sunlight and air. Today discuss nutrition and temperance. Before siqale ngicela sithobe amakhanda sikhuleke. Bawethu semazulwini nasezindaweni zonke senkosi yethu Yesu Kristu ngalo mzuzu ba kutshona ilanga sothi siqala umthandazo ba sicela usikelele ba wenze ba abo bangaphethekanga ba bathi ngokuba khona kwale program ba ukuthi apho bangaphathekanga kahle khona ba bathole i-healing ba sicela ba usikelele ba ingabi into esiyenzayo njengokuyijwayela ba koko sifunde something out of it ngoba ezwini lakho ba ukhona ukuphila ba sicela usikelele bonke abantu abathamelele program nabasezoyithamela ba ukuze babusiseke ba ngokuba bahlale phansi ngalesi sikhathi balalela izwi lakho ba ngokidibula inkosi yethu yakamsinya uJesu Kristu, amen. I-nutrition bazalwane, I'll discuss it briefly. We know about it. I won't get again at a lot of things that we tend to argue about. We know that in nutrition, it's not only about what you are eating, it's about how much, how often, what time are you eating, and also, of course, what are you eating? How much? If we eat too much, then the body can use a certain amount, then the rest will be stored, and usually tends to be stored as fat. Again, if we eat often, we snack in between, then we don't give it digestion yet, so pumula. So it tends not to metabolize a lot and it's stored. Some of us, abasebenza night duty, imizimba yethu is not geared to eat at 12 at midnight because there's certain hormonal processes that happen ngesikhathi ezithile. Again, we tend not to ukukdigesta kahle lokho kudla. Apho ndiyakhona is with i-COVID, we've noticed that one of the most common things or killers, especially to the younger ones. I've lost a few friends, guys under the age of 50, maybe late mid-40s, because they were overweight or obese. Obesity has been found to be one of the poor prognostic factors. If you're COVID and you're obese, more than 50% of obese people will be worse, and more than 90% of them will pass away, especially the ones about admitted to ICU and they get ventilated. They tend not to get out of a ventilator. The other diseases eziyinkinga abantu abadiabetic, most of them will be overweight, though some with type 1 diabetes might be underweight. Abantu abahypertensive nabantu abane-asthma nabo, especially if you've got more than one of those, the more you have of those diseases, the poorer your prognosis is. There's been some scientific theories going around. Yokuqala was the cytokine theory. And then lately, they talk about something called bradykinin. Cytokines, inflammatory mediators. So back on this storm where the body is just overwhelmed by these inflammatory mediators, and then they cause the blood to clot. But of late, it's been noticed that bradykinin plays a big role also, because what happens is it causes blood vessels to dilate and igazi to pull peripheries nakuma lungs and cause problems. Initially, COVID-19 was thought to be purely respiratory, but later on it was found out that what kills people the most are the blood clots that happen with the COVID-19, and especially in the lungs. Though still there are mucus plugs kuma lungs, so the insult might be two-pronged. Also, when it comes to abantu who are flesh diet eaters and the vegetarians or the vegans, there is a research going on, and it's pointing towards COVID being more interested to the protein, flesh, that is the meat protein, not the vegetarian protein. And therefore, abantu who are meat eaters tend to have a severe attack of COVID. Not that vegetarians may not be attacked by COVID if they've got other diseases or higher doses. But between the meat eaters and non-meat eaters, the non-meat eaters stand a better chance of recovery. When it comes to temperance, I'll just say a few things. We know that with temperance, you don't only abstain from the bad or hazardous things, you also limit the good things. Otherwise, God would not have limited the amount of manna abantwana baka-Israel were eating ehlane. That's why it was 1 oma per family per day. Hazardous things that we know, like smoking. Smokers don't do well with the COVID-19 because the protective cilia, the hair, the airway tends to be sluggish and it doesn't do umsebenzi wazo. So all these viruses and pathogens go past very easily without being trapped. The other things are drugs. Abantu who use drugs intravenously, abazijovayo kuma-veins, they tend to damage their veins and they might cause blood clotting again, which might circulate and cause problems. People who use drugs, sniffer, whatever gets sniffed, it tends to damage mucosa lining, kuma airways, and then again COVID-19 might breach easily. Kwindawo ezine-pollution, allergens, then abantu might be asthmatic or have other airway diseases, which also compromises their airway and increase the chance COVID-19. So masibuyela kwizwi likaNkulunkulu, nutrition plus ne-temperance bazalwane play a big COVID-19, obesity, especially my males, because we tend to have obesity with trunk, abdomen. It's been shown many times that if you are obese and you end up later, chances are 99.9% you will not make it out of the ICU. May God bless us, bazalwane, as we learn and realize that there's a lot of wisdom as we like. There's very little when it comes to human wisdom. Iphela lapho topic yethu. I'll hand over to Brother Ndarera for today's topic. Amen.
Bazalwane awuthi ngibingelele egameni lenkosi yethu uJesu Kristu. Amen. Siyahlangana ke namhlanje. Siku week of prayer for Adventist men. Sikhuluma indaba zawubaba. Namhlanje ke izothi ngibheke sisuke from Ephesians chapter 5 verse 25. Niyazi ukuthi abaniki bethu would know what this verse is all about. Awuthi ngilifundeke ngesingisi. Lithi, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. Singakaqhubeki ku verse 26 no 27 ngoba ngizothi mhlawumbe nifuthi something lapho. Ahlale ke ku 25. If Christ loved the church the way we know, and ufuna ukuthi thina obaba sithande onkosikazi bethu in the same way, niyabona yini obaba ukuthi we have a big duty ukuthi siyenze. What is it that God is actually saying by saying, love your wife as Christ loved the church? Asiye lapha ku 26 kuthiwa that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. 27, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. So, mangibheka ngenye indlela, masizothanda bankosikazi bethu. Hey, kuthiwa siyabageza bahlanzeke ukuze nathi masibabuka sijabuliswe yibona ngokubukela nje ukuthi nangu unkosikazi wami. So uJesu Kristu is preparing a wife, the church, for himself. So nami unkosikazi wami kumele ngimhlanze ngimgeze ukuze angijabulise. I mean, ukuzenzela phela lento. You are doing it for yourself. That's the gist of Ephesians chapter 5 verse 25 no 26 no 27. Kahle kahle unkosikazi looks up to wena ubaba for love and for sympathy. Uyabona udade wayethi mayibeka kanjalo ukuthi a woman or a wife looks up to the husband for sympathy and love. Uchaza ukuthi kunezinto eziningi zihlasela onkosikazi. And when they are beaten by such, arrows and woes and pangs of life, who is there to bring back the smile and the joy? It's me, the husband. It's me, the husband. It does not end there. This husband, by God's grace, becomes a father. Now, what is this home? A home is an institution. It is a company of God. So mina Ndarera mankala umuzi wami nonkosikazi wami. asikhumbule ukuthi we are expanding ifame ikhampani kaNkulunkulu. So lelo branch lekhampani kaNkulunkulu lithiwa kwaNdarera. Kumele mina njengobaba lapha ngilihole lelo branch. And unkosikazi ulinde mina ukuthi ngithi nkosikazi asabe siye phambili. Udadewethu uthi umnyeni uyi-house band. Awuthi ngiyichaze lento. Yini manje u-house band? Ufuna ukuthini udadewethu mayebhala leli gama leli? Usho ukuthi ubaba umnyeni uye uyenze ukuthi umntwana umama nabo bonke lapha endlini bahlale ndawonye. The father, the husband, has a mandate to make sure that the mother and the father and himself have got harmony. That's being a house band. Tie them together. How do you do that? Let's look at it closely. Kunombuzo kumele ubaba ayibuze. Buze wona. Ukuthi ngempela what is it that surrounds my family? Ngalombuzo ubaba uzama ukuthola ukuthi what kind of influences, what kind of associations are present in my family, and with what effects or consequences for that matter. So as a father, as a husband, kunesidingo sokuthi ngikhombise ukuthi I have got these strengths, I've got these virtues. Asibone ukuthi masikhuluma ngama virtues sikhuluma ngani. Ubaba umndeni uma efuna ukuthi ahambe kahle nomndeni wakhe as one piece, as one unit, kumele lo baba abe energetic. Akudingeki ubaba uthambile. Uzodonsa kanjani umndeni uthambile nje. Father must be energetic. The father must be patient. Ubaba kumele abe nokubekezela. Ukuba ne-authority endlini akuchazi ukuthi ubaba kumele athethise ingane njalo simsabe athi awuzweke ziyangisaba sibaleke masibona ubaba uqhamuka ngapha. Ubaba ngaphandle kwe-patience, ngaphandle kokuba energetic, ubaba kumele abe courageous. Hawu ingane siyazi sonke ukuthi ziyamthanda ubaba, uyakwazi ukuthi ame athi ngubaba bantwana bami you safe ningakhathazeki. Ubanikeze isithembiso sokuthi nangu ubaba ukhona uzosivikela, uzosikhombisa ukuthi kumele siyephi, nansi indlela. Ubaba kumele alethe ukujabula endlini. Lalela mhlawumbe unebhizinisi lapho uthola imali, ayike usebenze ekugcineni bakuhlasela lapha emsebenzini. Hawu baba bheka mawungena nje emzini wakho ungakhombisa abantwana ukuthi bakushayile bakuqedile, ngoba lethe ukujabula, ulethe ithemba lakusasa ebantwini bakho nonkosikazi. So kubalulekile ke lokho. Awuthi ngithathe ke nibeke lapha ku-Old Testament kuJob chapter 1. Masifunda uJob chapter 1 lawa amavesi verse 4 no verse 5. Kuthiwa uJobe wayebavumela abantwana bakhe, amadodana akhe, baphume bayohlangana endaweni ethize, bayowenza imicimbi, baye ku ndodana umkhulu, bese baye kumfowethu, baye kuphi, babize nodade babo bahlangana. Kodwa ngithanda ke masiye ku verse 5 lapho uJobe wayenza ukuthi abe sure ukuthi mabesebuyile ababize bonke athi lalelani-ke ngoba beniphumile niyoyenza imicimbi yama-birthday bash nanani, I am going njengobaba to take time to pray and offer offerings and sacrifices for you, for each one of you. And Job would pray for his sons and daughters, lest they would have sinned during their merry making out there. So, nami angikwenzi njalo. Isikhathi esiningi abantwana bayacela, baba, mama, abangani bami bathi siye ku-birthday, abangani bami bathi asiye kuphi. Hawu, kuhle-ke lokho. Kodwa mabeseqedile le micimbi, baba, mama, nenzani? Wena baba, uwenzani? Ngaphandle kokubuza nje ukuthi bekumnandi yini, nidleni, nenzeni? Ukukhombisa ukuthi you are the priest of the home. Kubalulekile ke ukuthi hayi ke sijabulile ukuthi nibuyile, nisindile, nisase right. Asithandazeni. It is the duty of the father to pray and confess for sins that are known and unknown that your children could have committed out there. Noma yourself, noma unkosikazi. As the chief priest. Uma ungekho, ngoba siyazi ukuthi obaba ngesinye isikhathi siyaphuma ngemsebenzi nomama futhi. Mase mangingekho, kumele phela umama Ndarera athi uthatha intambo. Subuyile ke mntwana asithandazeni. Kubalekile. Ubaba kumele abe nento engizoyibiza ukuthi ibizo udade wakhe ukuthi practical usefulness. Awubheka nanku ama-cupboards asekitchen, nanku ama-wardrobe, nanku imbhede, nanku iminyango iyaphuka njalo, izinto ziwe phansi. Umama uyaziqoqa zonke azibeke ngapha, atshela ubaba ukuthi akubile lokubile, hawu ngizobiza umuntu azofika lana akulungise. Hawu njalo baba wenzani? Are you practically useful in the house? What state do we find your doors in? Awuthi ngophinde injani iminyango? Iyavala, iyaloka. Awuyibuze nje baba. Why kumele izinto zonke ziwe nje? Umuzi ungathi it's dilapidated. Ukhona baba. Bayabona abantwana. Angeke bakubuze mhlambe, angeke bakucela ukuthi ukulungise. Nabo bayafunda bathi hayi maziwa lezi zinto seziyeka nje. Siziyeke sinjalo. Baba, khuluma nawe. Kuthiwa you are a co-worker with God emndenini wakho. I'm a co-worker with God. Okay, if I'm a co-worker with God, kumele ngenze ini? Ngiko-worker kanjani? uNkulunkulu ufuna ukuthi umndeni wami uyezulwini ngenxa yemisebenzi yami. So uma uNkulunkulu ngizohlala naye ngikhombise living faith, hayi ke bazalwane, kusho ukuthi mina nomndeni wami njengoJoshua sizokhonza uNkulunkulu, sizoyezulwini nomndeni wami. Ubaba kumele asebenzisane noNkulunkulu ukuze ifaith le ubaba uShumayela lapha endlini ibe a living faith, abantwana bayibone, ibe into ephathekayo ukuthi nangu ubaba uyakholwa. Uwenzani ubaba? Ukholelwa kuJesu Kristu, ngoba njalo siyathandaza siwumndeni, njalo masidla asiqali ngokudla nje, siyathandaza sibonge ukuthi lokhu kudla sikuthole ngomusa kaNkulunkulu. Ungathi lezi zinto zincane kodwa zinkulu, ngoba zidrive umndeni wethu lapha kuNkulunkulu. Awu mangizosondela ke emaphethelweni, awuthi ngisho lezi siyangithinda le statement lesi sithi some fathers are overgrown boys who are undisciplined for that matter. Awu baba ubaba ngoba nangu abantwana umnyeni ngoba nangu unkosikazi kodwa umfana nje umdala. You are an overgrown boy ngoba izenzo zakho ukuphila kwakho ukukhuluma kwakho akukhombisi ukuthi ubaba. Masihamba ngaphandle siya driver nangu umfana wami uhleli nami emotweni nangu amantombazana agcwele ngaphandle hawu ngithi nje fahla ukusho ama comments hey uyayibona le ntombi le ichiki le ichiki hey uyayibona ufuna ukuthi umntwana wakho akhulume kanjani hayi nanzi intombi uyayibona le ntombi yo usho njalo phambi kwabantwana bakho emotweni. You are just an overgrown boy, an undisciplined boy for that matter. Awukwazi ukushaya ama-comments lawo about amantombazana ngaphandle uhamba nendodana yakho izoba worse. Khumbula ukuthi uJesu Kristu uthe manizonilandela mina ngizonika amandla ukuthi nikwenze lokho enikwenzayo futhi nikudlule. Manje uma uzokhuluma lembhedo phambi kumfana wakho noma niyadlala ibhola lapha bese nisho ama-obscene languages, I mean words, nithukana nje nabanye abadlali bethimu enidlala nayo nithukane nje ngoba edlala ibhola umntwana wakho uyadlala nawe noma ungaphandle azi ukuthi ubaba nangu ubaba wakhipha lawo amazwi. Khumbula mawusuhlala phansi awusadlala usaye egroundini umfana wakho uya egroundini uzokhipha amagama adlula lawo ngoba you failed to control your passions as a father. Hey, sino challenge baba, sino challenge baba, singabi overgrown boys, undisciplined for that matter. Asigadi ukuthi sikhuluma kanjani, asigadi sina imizwa akusho ukuthi mawubaba okhonza uNkulunkulu awusenayo imizwa. Cha, ikhona imizwa kodwa asifunde ke ukuyicindezela ukuyidirecta le mizwa ukuze abantwana bethu bafunde into uNkulunkulu nayo izomjabulisa. Ijabulise nawe futhi ubaba mawuyizwa umntwana wakho eyikhipha nje afundise ezinye ingane noma isakhe ujabule sumdala manje uthi awu nangu umfana wami ukhuluma njengami ngisakhula ngisayindoda ngisayemnyeni nje isaqala nje umuzi wami uzojabulisa ngalokho. Mangiphetha mangiqeda la obaba asihambeni sifunde njalo kuKristu. Let us learn daily of Christ. Why kubalekile lokho ukuthi sifunde daily of Christ? So that any sudden surprises in our lives, any disappointments that we meet out there do not find their way into our homes through us and extinguish the light of joy, of happiness in our families. Usher in darkness of lack of hope, darkness of lack of patience, darkness of despair. We cannot allow that. Fathers must be conveyor belts of joy. Let our children, especially our wives, know that uma ubaba ekhona lempi le izodlula ngoba ubaba ubambelele kuKristu. Isifiso sami nomthandazo wami ukuthi masizoqhubeka masiqhubeka nemndeni yethu singa give up. Uyabona idivorce ichaza ukuthi sihlulekile. uNkulunkulu akawathandi amagwala. Idivorce ichaza ukuthi ngihlulekile. Angifuni futhi ukuthi uNkulunkulu ayilungise ngilento ngoba angihlulekile. Angimthembi futhi uNkulunkulu ukuthi uzoyilungisa. I-divorce ichaza lokho. Niyazi ukuthi abanye bethu mhlawumbe we have gone through it. Bese sithi hawu ukhuluma kanjalo ngoba akazange adlule kulesi simo lesi. Bazalwane, asihlaleni kuJesu Kristu, masizohamba naye uJesu Kristu, sihlale kuye. Ubumnyama uzolethwa ngalezi zinto esiphazamisi imoya yethu ngaphandle. Ngempela uNkulunkulu uzenza ukuthi ihlale ngaphandle. Mangena emzini wami, ayingane zami zigijime zize kumina zithi good evening baba, beunjani umsebenzi, noma bekubheda ngithi kuyancengeka. uNkulunkulu ungithwalile namhlanje, asithembe ukuthi uzophinda angithwale kusasa. With these words, bazalwane, it is my prayer that uNkulunkulu esimthandayo esizohamba naye uzosigcina, ayenze imindeni yethu ibe isibonakaliso sokuthi ngempela uJesu Kristu usaphila, uyasithanda, ngegama lakhe. Amen.
Siyabonga bazalwane, sizogobisa amakhanda masithola umthandazo. Siyakubonga Jehova, sibonga ithuba osiphe lona, sibonga leviki lomthandazo Nkosi osebenza ngalo ngendlela enamandla. Sibonga abantwana bakho obasebenzisayo, sibonga nokuthi imshini konke kusasebenza. Siyabonga Nkosi, thela umoya wakho phezu kwethu, usize sibe obaba, madodana, husbands, and amadoda emphakathini azoreflecta i-character yakho. Sengathi ungaba nama-speakers bonke azothi aqhubeke, ube nama-members ebandla, wasize ngey'mali ukuthi akhona ukuconnecta, usize kulesikhathi esisabekayo Nkosi. Siyazi-ke usuzwile ngoba sicela egameni likaJesu. Amen.